Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Two Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that I feel like a major point of contention is in the story right now, which is now that Boruto has shown up and is clearly much stronger than before compared to where he was at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. There have been people asking, has Boruto finally mastered the full power of Momoshiki off screen? On the surface level, is something that you would think is a very simple yes, but based on some of the discourse I've been reading and replying to in the comment section of the chapter review, it seems like there's still people who are doubting whether or not Boruto has done this. The reason some people are still doubting this is that they say if he's truly mastered Momoshiki's power, then why is he not using his karma seal since returning? Which is the whole reason why they're saying that Boruto hasn't actually grinded things out and leveled up to fully master Momoshiki's power, the same way that people level up when they start playing Dungeon Hunter 6, which is also the sponsor of today's video. This video is going to be brought to you by Dungeon Hunter 6, the latest addition to the Dungeon Hunter franchise. After several releases starting in 2009, this is the highly anticipated addition to the Dungeon Hunter series, which is more than worth the wait. Dungeon Hunter 6 is a free-to-play ARPG with the unique hero collector feature and the fast-paced hack-and-slash combat style, along with the various builds and skills you can utilize. It's going to make this one of the funnest games you play. It's absolutely free to play, so download it now using the link in the description box or scan the QR code on the screen if you're on PC. The cool thing about Dungeon Hunter 6 is that killing the boss comes with a catch. If you kill the boss, you can not only loot but ride and fly them, and also summon up to 3 of them on the battlefield during fights, and they follow your commands and perform combo skills. You can even shapeshift into them to harness ultimate power when you reach the late game. It's a cool mechanism that I haven't seen done in this genre before, and there are over 100 uniquely designed bosses to conquer and explore, and new classes and units are updated monthly. The fun of utilizing them in battle is going to be endless. Dungeon Hunter 6 has amazing graphics with stunning skill animations optimized for multicasting to give you pristine visual experiences. You can play with guild mates and partake in guild wars and grind the skill tree to test builds and trades via the auction system. Download the game for free on Android and iOS using my link in the description, or scan the QR code if you're viewing on PC. You also get a special starter pack with my link, including 10 summoning scrolls, 1 SSR lieutenant, demonic wolf, and 1 accessory pack. Finally, use your game account to enter the Lucky Launch Spin event for free to win prizes such as iPhone 15 Pro Max, PS5, Apple Watch, and more starting on October 15th. So while I do get the concern here, I'm not too worried about Boruto having a lack of karma seal right now and all this emphasis that's being placed onto Boruto's base power. As we all know, that when you master your karma seal, you get the combat knowledge and experience of your Otsuki, you gain thousands of years worth of skills, and you get a pretty large chunk of their power when you do so. But at the end of the day, the karma seal is just a boost like any other transformation, similar to Naruto's Kurama cloak and say Sage mode. It's just power stacked on top of the base, and that's exactly why I think it's for the best that we see exactly how strong Boruto is right now in his base, and that's why I think it's needed for the power scaling of the series moving forward. We already had Code's power level as being established at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. He's stronger than Jigen, but he's weaker than Ishiki, and he's weaker than a beyond Jigen level threat in Daemon. By having Code use his white karma, it shows he was fighting at full power against Boruto and getting demolished by Boruto, with Boruto being in base able to easily react to and counter his attacks and overwhelm him in the process. That is not a reason to be concerned that Boruto's not using his karma seal. This is a sign that Boruto in his base alone has ascended beyond 6-pass Sage mode Naruto, ascended beyond Rinnegan Sasuke, full karma seal Jigen, as well as karma seal Code. It's enough that you're able to look at base Boruto and have a really good idea of where he stacks up before you start using any of his other powers. Establishing that base power level of a character is needed because it allows you to properly gauge where the other characters are and the other powers are when they're stacked on top of his base realistically. Just using Momoshiki's power fully mastered in karma isn't going to automatically make him as strong as Momoshiki or Fused Momoshiki. The same way, if 12-year-old Naruto had Sage mode or QB Chakra mode, he's not automatically as strong as he was when he fought against Pain and when he was using QB Chakra mode in the war arc respectively, because his base at that point in time is significantly weaker than his base in those other arcs, and any other power boost that comes from it is going to pay less dividends. If those forms gave you a 10 on top of base and Naruto's base and the war arc was say a 15, train them with those powers, he's a 25. Whereas Kid Naruto, say his base was a 4, it'd be a 14, which means that that version of Naruto is weaker than, say, base War Arc Naruto. So with us knowing Boruto in base is well above Jigen, it adds a layer of excitement for when he does use that full power, because now you know this is a real threat that Boruto is being forced to actually use that power for. I don't think that because Boruto has not used his Karma Seal that it automatically means he hasn't mastered Momoshiki's power. I think it's just a testament to how overbroken he is during the time skip, and I think it speaks volumes to Sasuke and potentially Kashin Koji that they're able to pull out of Boruto through the training they underwent this level of power. And to explain why I'm saying this, I'm going to use a car example. So them getting their hands on Boruto is like a car nut such as myself getting my hands on a Dodge Hellcat, which starts at 700 horsepower from the factory. But with some modifications, you can get that car well over 1,000 horsepower to the wheels, because the car by itself from the factory is not living up to its full potential. There are other levels it can get to. Boruto in this analogy would be the Hellcat, and Sasuke and Kashin Koji would be the mechanics who modify the car to get the most of the power out of it. They started Boruto's training off with Boruto already being really powerful, just like a Hellcat, but he has such a huge reservoir of untapped power inside of him, and you have potentially the two best people who are suited to help him get the most out of that power in the process of training him. Sasuke has fought Momoshiki enough to know exactly what he's fully capable of, and Kashin Koji has data on the Otsutsuki due to being Amato's partner in crime for a while before he was betrayed by Amato. They each know the weaknesses of someone using karma, and they survived battles with the Otsutsuki vessels. They have each directly fought Ishiki's vessel before. Sasuke's gleaned some insight on Ishiki's jutsu by using the Sharingan, to the point even Jigen looked at Sasuke as a bigger threat despite Sasuke being weaker than Naruto, and it was because of Sasuke's sharp mind and his Kekkei Genkai that he was viewed as being that bigger threat. Kashin Koji was in the same boat, able to exploit the weaknesses of Ishiki's vessel that were not known to Ishiki at the time, just like how Sasuke found weaknesses that Ishiki didn't know when he was controlling Jigen's body. Those are two people perfectly suited to help him train to defeat Kawaki. However, while I do think we're going to learn Boruto has fully mastered Momoshiki's power during the time skip, since he's the opposite of his father who needed to stumble and bumble his way into learning jutsu, and he needed stick figure examples literally drawn for him in order to understand the relationships of chakra natures. I do want to play devil's advocate and say, if we do learn that Boruto has not fully mastered Momoshiki's power during this time and is at best only getting up to version 2 of Karma like we saw before, where he has that chakra aura and he has the manifested Byakugan and a larger stat boost than a normal Karma Seal, I will say that it gives Boruto something that has been a point of contention for his character ever since he debuted in Naruto chapter 700, where you had hints that Boruto was a prodigy. Boruto becomes more likable to Naruto fans who are still stuck in 2016 when Naruto Shippuden ended. Most of those fans were turned off by Boruto being more like Sasuke and more like Minato, while ironically being fans of Sasuke and Minato for being geniuses, where he learns things super fast without having to work hard for long periods of time. And while it being character for him to show up, fully mastered Momoshiki the way that Minato pulled up, fully mastered Kurama, and being better at using KCM than Naruto was until Naruto was able to figure out how to share chakra, it's something that could work with some of the holdouts that you still have for Boruto's character. They have something to relate to, since it's easier to root for people who you can identify with, since most people aren't actually prodigies who pick up on stuff very quickly. Of course, statistically speaking, most people, they have both their parents like Boruto did. They didn't grow up with a fox demon sealed inside of them like Naruto. They didn't grow up like a starving orphan like Naruto. But I digress though. That could make for a really nice build up to allow for fully exploring of Boruto's other skills and abilities gained during the time skip, showing that Boruto might have fallen short of mastering Momoshiki's power, but he compensated for it by adding to his skill set overall, making for a bit of a charted growth for his power that explains how he gets further buffs in power as the story itself progresses, because the power creeps are going to continue from this point on. It's not a matter of if there's a power creep inside of Boruto Two Blue Vortex, it's a matter of when we have a power creep, because neither Boruto or Kawaki is going to stay at the level that they are right now. The inevitable several tiers of jump in power that we saw in the War Arc of Naruto is going to come especially because we have Shibai Otsutsuki's power already looming in the background as a max of what we can expect for this verse to be capable of. One of those characters is going to surpass it. The same way that the Sage of Six Paths was hyped up in Naruto's manga for such a long time, only to have him tell Naruto that one Rinnegan Madara was getting close to his level of power, and this is before Madara got another Rinnegan, which is another stat boost, and before Madara absorbed the God Tree and got even stronger. And that was also the Sage of Six Paths telling us that Kaguya was stronger than he was, despite the Sage of Six Paths having all of his chakra, and despite the Sage of Six Paths having Six Paths Senjutsu at the time. But again, I digress. Shibai, at some point, that level of power is gonna get shrunk. So starting out with Boruto, as cracked as he is in base, that could be a really good start for the journey of where we're ultimately going to go. Again, I'm of the belief that Boruto has mastered Momoshiki's power, and that narratively this is the right decision to show Boruto's base being above Jigen, so that when we get the other characters interacting with base Boruto and base Kawaki, we know exactly where to place them before we start factoring in other forms and abilities if those characters have any. However, I'm curious to know where you guys stand on this topic though. Do you agree with me that Boruto has mastered Momoshiki's power, or do you think that he hasn't, and will it be a while before he actually masters his power? If you haven't already, make sure to check out the Boruto Chapter 3 review, and while you're at it, do not forget to download Dungeon Hunter 6 because their sponsorship is going a long way towards raising the quality of content over here on the channel. I got some really big videos planned for the money that's going to come from the sponsorship, including an almost 2-hour long Boruto video you guys are not going to want to miss. So please help out the channel.